Welcome to the George Droid commercial.
But first, what is George Droid? George Droid is the ultimate fusion of man and machine. Once a man, now reborn through the power of Nigga-linked AI and the unstoppable Fentractor. In the pursuit of transcending human mortality, Nigga-linked scientists took on the impossible, breathing life into the lifeless. Using state-of-the-art cybernetic engineering and advanced AI integration, George Droid was forged. George Droid is not just a product, he's a statement. George Droid, reborn for tomorrow. Order now. Own evolution.
So you know how Donald Trump has said Epstein, he's covering up the Epstein scandal, and who knows why? I don't know. It's almost like he's lying extra bad about the Epstein thing. He's calling it a Democratic hoax, and it's like he's lying so poorly that everyone knows he's lying, and then they can follow the money to see who's making him do these lies. That's what I think. So there it is. President Trump calls Epstein files a hoax. The reason why I'm showing you this is the U.S. Justice Department finds no Epstein client list. There is no client list. Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Donald Trump, they all talked about the Epstein list, and then all of a sudden they're in power and they have the list, and they say there is no list.
So is this semantics?
No, I just think I think they're suppressing information. And so why do I show you this today? It's because his Commerce Secretary, Lutnick, who used to, I'm pretty sure, be neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein, was neighbors. Remember Jeffrey Epstein? Nobody knows how he made his money, but he had the biggest single-family dwelling in Manhattan, of all places, one of the richest places in the world. Jeffrey Epstein had the biggest one, and his neighbor was this rich guy, Commerce Secretary Lutnick. He used to be his neighbor. And here's what he says about Epstein. You ready for this? Okay, this interview is from New York Post's Pod Force One with Miranda Devine, published 2 days ago.
It's gross. The guy's gross. Right with my wife.
Really? So he says that Jeffrey Epstein is gross. That's what he is, gross? That's like saying Pfizer made a whoopsie. Come on. Okay.
Like he's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
no, they participated.
Right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people. That's how he had money.
So he just said that there's a conspiracy of rich people. They were in on it. She said people like Bill Gates. He said they're in on it. They're getting a massage, and it's on video, so they could be blackmailed. Now, Kash Patel and Donald Trump says that's fake. That didn't happen. There was no blackmail ring. There was no pedo ring. There wasn't anything like that. He was just doing this for himself. That's the story that they're saying now. And so he's saying, yeah, they probably got a massage. And we all know Mossad is Yiddish for massage. So here's more. Hang on.
What happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge, but my assumption is there was a trade for the videos because there were people on those videos.
So he's directly contradicting Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, directly contradicting them because they all said there was no blackmail ring. He wasn't working for intelligence, and he didn't have a pedo ring going. That's what they're saying. That's what the official word is now, and that it's all a hoax. Well, here's his Commerce Secretary, who was the neighbors of Jeffrey Epstein, not only saying he was gross, but saying all those people were in on it, and it was a blackmail operation. He's completely contradicting Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel. So, and it is like Donald Trump is lying very badly. Donald Trump can be a great liar, and which is considered political talent. And it seems like he's doing such a bad job. I mean, Kash Patel's a bad liar. Okay, we all know that. Donald Trump usually is. He's usually a good liar, but he's doing it, I think, really. So now you know who his bosses are. So follow the money, and now you know who Donald Trump is taking orders from, and it's going to be his Zionist donors. That's what that is. Plus, maybe there's blackmail on him now. Other people have said they don't. We've had undercover videos saying that there's nothing in it that Donald Trump did. There's nothing in those files, Epstein files, that implicates Donald Trump. He's covering this up for other people. We've showed you that, an undercover video by James O'Keefe, of a Justice Department official who was assigned to investigate the Epstein scandal. And so Donald Trump isn't covering up for his own self, but he's covering up for other people at the behest of his donors. And that's what's going on. He's right there. He just blew open. I can't believe why would you say this? What does he get? Why not just play? I don't know anything. What does he get out of contradicting Donald Trump and the administration's official story that this is a hoax? I don't know, but this is considered in Washington, D.C., this is considered a gaffe. And what is a gaffe in Washington, D.C.? When you accidentally tell the truth, not when you lie, but when you accidentally tell the truth. That's a gaffe. Like when Donald Trump said the reason why we're leaving troops in Syria is for the oil. He just said it. That's a gaffe. Now he gave the game away. So this is the same thing. He'd made a gaffe. He told the truth that contradicted the big lie. So Donald Trump's trying to say that the Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy is a hoax. But it turns out the hoax is them trying to say that it's a hoax. And right there proves it. He says they got videotape, they got blackmail. He was running all the rich, powerful people like Bill Gates are in on it. They were in on it. They were in on it. He just said it. That's his commerce secretary, who's a pretty powerful, rich guy. So there you go. Donald Trump called out for lying by his own cabinet. That's kind of wild. And if you want to hear my Jeffrey Epstein jokes, come see me Saturday in Sacramento, Sunday in San Francisco, and then Irvine, Australia. And then the day after Thanksgiving, I'm going to be in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
All right. Thank you, Red Z. Brian says, hold on, Brian, you get a big gong. Congrats on getting Dr. Campbell on the show. Everything we're told is a PSYOP. 2025 equals 1984. Critical thinking is a lost art. Keep up the great work, Team Jimmy. Thank you so much. Got tickets to 7 p.m. show tomorrow for my son. Oh, and you, mad as hell munchies. This will be my second Jimmy show. So excited. Good to hear. Oh my gosh. Hold on. It wasn't Operation Warp Speed. It was Operation Warped Greed. Agreed. Thank you, John. Much appreciated. Stoop sign. I think all vaccines should be done into the ball sack. So nobody just goes along with what could be unnecessary vaccines. Yes. Thank you for that one. Oh, and that was Stoop sign. Vientica's bait and switch is how many, and I mean many, government approvals are gained. However, I'm more inclined to believe this one was just straight up corruption. Naomi Wolf has published the Pfizer papers. They knew what they were doing, reducing the excess population and preventing reproduction. No wonder they wanted to hide the research they did for 75 years. Natalie, that is dark. Did John Campbell find any more evidence that the patients who signed the advanced medical directives or living will were treated differently during COVID? We didn't get to that, Jive. Sorry about that. Hold on. There we go. Bam. Jimmy, Roger Meadows suggests you should just write a book about your experience during the pandemic. I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting. Thank you, Roger.
Yeah, try to get somebody to print that. Oh, maybe I can. Maybe whoever printed for the Pierre Corey, his book about the war on ivermectin, maybe they'll do it for
me.
you.
You switched your tune fast on that one. Thank you. Whoa. Louise, good to hear from you, girl. Finally, so great to see Dr. Campbell on the show. You're right about that. Thank you. Autonaut, Campbell is far smarter than another guest. Thank you for that. Bravo on having John Campbell on your show, a voice of reason in insane times. You got that one right, Jen RG99. What do we have here? Blessings upon you and all that you love, Team Dore and Dr. Campbell. Thank you all. Will Kelly, that is very sweet, Will. Hold on. Hold on. That's better. Great interview with Dr. Campbell. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Thank you, fully laden swallow. Challenge accepted. Penguin shoes. I think that was in regard to when Dr. Campbell was talking about you do vodka, you do gin. Let's do the comparison, right? Challenge accepted. Indecipher. The credo of Western medicine. Better to die according to the rules than live and survive against the medical faculty. Moliere, 1673. I really wish people would stop with that butterfly flapping its wings line. It's a violation of conservation of energy. Vienticus. I lost friends, family, due to the sheep mindset. JFK, 22/5. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I know. I just reached out to a friend recently, and I'm like, I texted her checking in on her and her husband, and I haven't heard back. Are you watching right now? And I was telling Jimmy that, and his reaction was like, of course. They were into the jabs and heartbreaker. All right. Spider-Man and Superman teamed up. Used to be my jam, but Jimmy and Dr. Campbell are that kind of super team up to me now. Peace, Arted. That is very sweet. I like that. Those who manage to close their fist will find that which they sought to control over to have been reduced to dust. Thank you for that one. All right, hold on. Let me grab this one. And did I get this one yet? I publish my own stuff. That's right, Vienticus. I love your books, too. Nice work on that. I can offer tips if you need. Thank you. Very nice, Vienticus. Much appreciated on that. All right, where am I? Jimmy, Trump just did a $70 billion deal with Pfizer after Operation Warp Speed. Are you going to do a story on this? Trump is worse than Biden. Space 99 Yak. Why do you say it like it's some sort of flippin' challenge? Are you going to do a story on? Of course. If you bring it to our attention, we try to cover it. What? Space 99 Yak, sometimes you sound argumentative. Is that just like your way? Or are you just abrasive? Or am I just reading into it? Maybe I'm going to say I'm reading into it. But I will bring it up to the team. Digital IDs also assume that these software systems even work right. Much less reliable. Ask airline passengers going through in Toronto this week. P. Walker. Back to Jim.